when it was brought to her attention over a year ago that there was someone that had been convicted, not just accused, but convicted of harming a child and luring them for sex via the internet. Her response was, well, I can't do anything until I've got all the proper paperwork, okay? And he was allowed to still have an active license for almost 3 months after that point. Here's the problem. There's a term called pass the trash. Anybody heard of that? That's when it's talking about, let's say somebody is working in Mecklenburg, right, and they're accused of something. They could go down to South Carolina and be teaching, because our backlog for people to be tried for these cases is 2 and 3 years after COVID. Remember, our court systems were completely closed for almost a year. So they could go down and work in South Carolina, and let's say the South Carolina people are just as desperate as we are for teachers, right? And they're gonna say, oh, you said that you worked up in Mecklenburg, up in North Carolina? Well, let's look at the database, the statewide database that the DPI is responsible for keeping track of. Let's see whether or not your active license is still in good standing. Oh, well, there you go, it sure is. And so, sure, come on down. So the response when we said, this is absolutely dangerous to our children, the response was, well, shame on those school districts that hire these people, right? Passing the buck, absolutely not. Also, when she was asked, when people have been accused of doing crimes against children, or felonies just in general, why is their license not suspended? Her response in an email written, this is all written out, was, I can't do anything until they're convicted. That is an absolute lie. The policy says that you can have a hearing, you can suspend that person's license, and until it has been determined. Now listen, I'm all in favor. You suspend it with pay, right? Just like a police officer. There's been an issue, you immediately put them on administrative leave. It's paid leave, right? Because they have not been found guilty. They're still assumed innocent. But we have got to, above all else, put the safety of our children above everything else. If our children are not safe, they're not going to learn. And we do not want to be the ones that are responsible for children carrying this abuse and carrying these issues and this torture for the rest of their lives. And that's what we're going to be doing. So I say this, people that are calling a liar, I say, you're the one that said, you did not say, when we said, why haven't you suspended licenses? She didn't say, well,